When a US president threatened Africa's biggest economy, the world stopped. Cameras flashed, news anchors spoke in urgent tones, hashtags filled social media. Donald Trump had just said something the world didn't expect to hear. Nigeria has failed to protect its people, he declared. And if they don't fix it, the United States may have to act. In those few words, the world heard politics, but the wise, the thinkers, the builders, the entrepreneurs heard strategy. Because beneath every act of global power, there are lessons in business, leadership, and negotiation. Trump's statement wasn't just about religion or humanitarian concern. It was about positioning. It was about leverage. It was about showing the world who controls the narrative. You see, in the game of business, just like in politics, power isn't always about who has the most money, the biggest army, or the loudest voice. It's about who can shift perception. Trump didn't move a single troop. He didn't spend a dollar. He just spoke, and the global conversation changed overnight. That's leverage. That's the same force that makes one brand worth billions while another fades into silence. It's the same principle that makes a small startup suddenly dominate the news while an old company becomes invisible. Power isn't about what you own. Power is about what people believe you own. Entrepreneurs, listen carefully. The world doesn't always reward effort. It rewards positioning. Nigeria, proud, strong, independent, suddenly found itself defending its image before the world. We are not a religiously intolerant country, its leaders said. We reject these claims. But perception had already shifted, and that's where the first lesson lies. Control your narrative before someone else defines it for you. In business, silence is dangerous. Because if you don't tell your story, someone else will, and they won't tell it in your favor. When competitors speak against you, when rumors spread about your product, when your brand is misunderstood, don't wait for the storm to pass. Step up, own your story, and speak with clarity. Because if you stay quiet, people will believe the loudest voice, not the truest one. Trump's move may have been political, but it teaches a deep business truth. Perception is the invisible currency of influence. Every entrepreneur must learn to manage it. In your business, in your brand, in your life, your perception determines your price. Now think about it. Why do people pay $1,000 for an iPhone when other phones can do the same job? For $200, why do people trust one influencer, one leader, one company over another with the same product? It's not just quality, it's perception. Apple doesn't sell phones, it sells status. Tesla doesn't sell cars, it sells vision. And successful entrepreneurs don't sell products, they sell belief. That's the same way nations and leaders operate. Trump understood that belief moves markets faster than truth. He created a new perception of urgency, and that became leverage. He didn't have to prove Nigeria was in crisis, he just had to make the world believe it was. And from that moment, Nigeria had to respond on his terms. Entrepreneurs do this all the time, sometimes for good, sometimes not. The ones who win are those who understand that the game isn't about being right. It's about being strategic. You don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate, and negotiation begins with leverage. So the real question is, what is your leverage right now? What makes people need you, listen to you, or respect you? Is it your skill, your brand, your story? Because if you don't build leverage, you'll always be at the mercy of those who have it. Trump had political leverage. Nigeria had economic leverage, but both needed perception leverage, and that's what determined who controlled the narrative. In your business, you need to build that too. Before you ask for investment, before you launch that product, before you scale, build leverage. Leverage can be your customer trust. It can be your unique brand story. It can be your results. It can even be your silence if it's strategic. But never be empty-handed in the game of negotiation, because in the world of business, no one helps the helpless, they help the valuable. Then came Nigeria's response. Calm, firm, measured. They didn't scream back. They didn't start a public fight. They simply stated their position clearly, confidently, respectfully. That, too, was strategy. Because when power challenges you, panic is your greatest enemy. And this is another lesson entrepreneurs must learn. When the storm hits, when your business faces criticism, when your product fails, when the market turns against you, don't panic, because panic kills clarity. Instead, respond with confidence. Reframe the narrative. Control the tone. Apple did it during the Ben Gates scandal. Tesla did it when everyone said electric cars would fail. Netflix did it when people mocked streaming as a fad. They didn't overreact. They simply adjusted and won. Crisis doesn't destroy great brands. It reveals them. So when trouble comes, let it show your strength, not your fear. In that moment, Nigeria wasn't just defending its sovereignty, it was defending its brand. And entrepreneurs must do the same. Your company is your nation. Protect it with wisdom, not emotion. Now let's step back and look at the bigger picture. The world saw Trump's words as a threat, but entrepreneurs should see them as a case study in influence, narrative, and negotiation. The lesson isn't in who is right or wrong, the lesson is in how power communicates. Because whether it's in politics or business, the loudest voice isn't always the strongest, the most strategic one is. So don't just build a company, build a presence, build leverage, build belief. Because the world is watching, and in this game of power and perception, only the prepared, the strategic, truly win, and that is how you turn a crisis into a classroom.